I'll do a little pull here.
Oh God! Hello and welcome back to Driver's Therapy. In today's video, we have an awesome car. We have Brandon with his 2001 Volkswagen GTI VR6 with close to 500 horsepower. So this is going to be a great video. All right, Brandon. Well, first off, tell us, how long have you had this car for?
I bought this car when I was 16 and I am now 21, so that's 5 years. And it's been my baby ever since I bought it.
So did you buy it like this with almost 500 horsepower?
I bought it, the previous owner, he had it and he kind of started. He had great potential on starting to build it, but he just it looked as if he ran out of money. So I picked it up, kind of was able to salvage the parts that he did get, and lots of money later. I mean, it ended up being a 450 to 500 horsepower car.
That's awesome. So I mean, we're gonna dive right into that, but this is not just your regular GTI. So there's a VR6, of course, the R32s, regular Golfs. So what makes the VR6 different?
Well, the VR6 is, I think it's a one-of-a-kind motor. It's this one in particular is a 12 valve. So it's got the intake and it's got two cams. It's got a 15-degree V. So it's definitely different, but the Germans say it's a shortened inline V6.
Okay.
Which you would be like, you just added a bunch of different combinations. So it's essentially not flat, or not a straight six rather. It's staggered, so it goes 1, 2, kind of like that.
Interesting. 6
of them. So it's definitely like a zigzag pattern.
I didn't know that.
Yep. And it's got a slight 15-degree V.
Okay.
And the pistons are actually even different sizes. Like the top of the piston is slanted as well.
And that's what gives it that unique sound that you hear.
Yep, exactly.
Because I've heard of VR6s and I've always like, oh, that doesn't sound like a regular, hatch. It sounds
Right.
like it has a nice grumble. So that makes sense. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So this is a VR6, and I can't believe it. We're here in almost 2021. We need 2020 to go away.
That we do.
Right?
Yeah.
But 2001, that's a long time. Now, I don't know a lot about German engineering. One day I hope to own a Porsche. But as far as reliability goes, sometimes you hear the stereotypes of Mitsubishis having issues. I've heard that Volkswagens are a little finicky with electronics. How has the reliability been on the VR6 besides the modifications?
The VR6, I mean, it is an exceptional motor. It's a great motor. If you have just a VR6 without the turbo, I mean, that should be good for 200,000+ miles. They were originally made to be diesel motors, so they were even beefed up a little bit more coming from factory, and you can actually make about the same power I'm making now on a stock motor. Diesel
motors, they were originally...
Yeah, that's something no one really talks about.
That's crazy.
Right, yeah.
Well, we know diesel motors could take a beating. That's awesome. So what was the horsepower configuration stock in this car?
I think stock horsepower is like 190 about.
And how much does it weigh roughly?
3,200 pounds.
Wow, that's actually kind of a little heavy for
It's a little more than you'd think.
Yeah.
That's why a Honda Civic with the same horsepower, it gets me pretty good. Yeah. But
well, I think a Honda Civic with more than 200 horsepower is raping a lot of people.
Yeah, they're essentially tin cans. So
that's awesome. So it had originally 200 horsepower, and did you drive it like that before it went turbo, or was this car always turboed?
No, it wasn't turboed from the factory.
Oh, okay.
So it was turboed on a stock motor for a little bit, and then that wasn't enough.
Did you blow it?
No, I didn't blow it. We actually sent that motor off before it was good to Integrated Engineering out of Salt Lake, and now, I'm sure you've heard of them.
I haven't heard of him.
No?
No, but since they're closed, I'm going to have to check them out.
Yeah.
So I always hear about that, and I've never done that. I've never sent off a motor. So you took it out and you sent it to a shop that had, what'd you have done to it?
Yep, so they have like a system. It's almost like an add to cart, but essentially if you add it to your cart, you're not getting anything because you still have to send your motor. So I think it's about 4,500, which isn't too bad for a motor build, you know. So these are originally a 2.8 liter, and then this is a stroker motor, so now it's a 3 liter with integrated engineering rods and JE pistons, and then all new main bearings. Every bearing in it has been redone, but every bearing is stock still.
Okay.
And then the head was a local guy, Shining Knight Machine.
Okay.
Lee, he's a great guy. He did the head work, so that's 2 over valves, port and polish. I mean, valves, springs, retainers. It's got quite a bit done to the motor, so we can flow some pretty good power.
Well, I do know my engineering components, but I think for the viewers out there, I think it's really neat because you're taking a motor out and you're setting it in and you're customizing it, like you said, you're a la carting it.
Right.
And it's really neat though because you're coming back with this full assembly ready to go, and you put it in the car. How long did it take? What was the process of that?
It takes a couple months actually, okay. But I mean, this car I've probably had 5,000 miles on the turboed setup, which is very impressive because you definitely, I don't care what car you're building, you put a big turbo on it, it's gonna take the reliability down.
Oh.
That's it. So it was kind of a game actually. The motor was great. We put that in, and then I've been through 2 transmissions because they're stock transmissions.
Oh, so we hit
2 clutches.
So we hit a kind of a weak point, the transmissions.
Oh yeah, transmissions.
So what is the transmission configuration on the VR6? Is it 5-speed, 6-speed?
Yeah, this is a 5-speed, and they come with the 12 valves.
Okay.
So I believe 12 valves stopped in 2002. Then they went to 24 valves like you'd find in the R32, and that comes with a 6-speed.
Okay. You know, I feel bad because you said 12 valve. My head didn't register, so I'm doing a full loop around it, and that is unique. It just hit me. I'm just like, hold up, even your basic like B16 has more than 12 valves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So, anyways, going back to this tranny, so you blew the trannies. What synchro die? Did you?
First time it grenaded, like just chunks everywhere once we took the transmission apart. And then put a new one in it, and we were running
OEM or this time you beat
OEM. Because I got about a year on it.
I think that's the young mentality there. Got to learn from your lessons, Brett.
That's this thing.
Okay. I like the wallet.
Thanks.
So you put an OEM in there because you're like, we got to put something back in there.
Right. Yeah. And then I mean, I've went about a year on a completely stock with a upgraded clutch, obviously.
Now, are you racing from digs? Can you?
That will do it.
Yeah, that's what.
That'll also. I'll get to that in a second because that brings me to axles. And these sticky tires do the same thing. But yeah, the stock transmission, they do good as long as you're not like just straight fast
dropping
shifting, grinding gears, you know. But they're actually a lot better than you would think. But this time, I mean, I still have the stock synchros in it. It just has, I have a pinion brace, welded shift fork, and I have a competition twin disc clutch in it right now.
Nice. Well, those things have to be helping too.
Yeah, for sure.
And you've learned how to drive with the car and understand how not to hurt it.
Right. And it has a Pelican limited slip differential.
That's pretty cool.
So rather than being essentially one-wheel drive, you know, now it's 2-wheel drive, and it pulls straight as an arrow. Doesn't pull off to the side of the road at all.
Does it have the infamous wheel hop?
At the track, it had a lot of wheel hop.
Okay.
Actually, and I'm on stock motor mounts. I think I've named about the only things that are stock on it, actually. And because of the motor mounts, I believe that's why I was getting such bad wheel hop, and tire pressure was probably another. But it snapped the serpentine belt tensioner off of the head a couple months ago. So I had to have the head, Lee at Shining Knight Machine here in Grand Junction. He was able to weld up that plate back on so I could run it again.
Without removing the head?
We had to remove it still.
Okay, you have to remove the head still.
Yep.
Oh, that's a process.
Yeah.
But you're happy.
It was a bummer. Oh yeah, for sure.
So what I'm hearing is that it's really neat though. I mean, I have to think about this, right? When I was your age, and I feel like I'm an old guy now, you know, I was just happy that like I've got an exhaust, I've done an intake, you know, like I tried painting my own car, you know, stuff like that. But
right.
I really admire what you've done. You've really done a lot of stuff that like people talk about doing, but you weren't afraid of doing it. You took that leap of faith and you did it. You took a motor out, got it sent, and had it fully built, put back, ran into issues, you addressed those issues. That really speaks highly of like your mechanical skills and your ambition towards the car. So kudos to you.
Well, thank you. And to add on to that real quick, I gotta give a big shout out to Brandon Faith. He has helped me so much with this car. I mean,
your friend?
Yes, he knows everything about it. Like since I'm moving, and he's gonna show the car because it's actually for sale. Sadly, I wouldn't like it to be because I love this thing. It's like my baby. But he could stand here and tell you pretty much everything as well. He knows everything about this car. And
so 2 Brandons have come through the prod. That's really cool. Well, thank you, Brandon. That's awesome. So now I want to talk a little bit about the pros and the cons. So tell me a little bit, what is your favorite part of the car?
The favorite part about the car?
Would you say the top 3 favorite things about the car that you love? About
I love the fact that it's boosted.
Okay.
I mean, I can't get over that. And I'm pretty glad I picked this platform, even though it's quite heavy for a 2-door hatchback. You just don't see built ones all the time. You just see the 1.8 liter turbos from factory with turbos and making little turbo noises with their little blow off valves. So
that's funny.
It's always great when even a new GTI or like a Golf R rolls up on you wanting to race, and you end up gapping it pretty good because it's just not expected, you know.
Taking him to Gapplebee's.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. I just heard that. I really like that saying. Cool. And I have to ask you, I don't know if that was 3 or not. I'm bad at counting. But what is the 3 things that you would say were kind of hardship? Because every relationship has a hardships.
Right. Well, and I look at every bad thing that's gone wrong, like everything breaking all the time that used to happen, as, you know, I needed to learn. So stuff broke and I learned from it. Everything that's happened to this, I've ended up learning from it and realizing that as an outcome of success. I mean, there's no greater feeling than fixing your car and being able to drive it and
that's a great attitude.
Be proud of it. So
that's a great attitude. I mean, every now and then, I'm not gonna lie to you, I can't steal it. Just like I stole Gapplebee's, I can't steal this. I saw on the internet once, and it said, "I wish my car was a person so I could kill it." We've all been there. We all feel like that. But at the end of the day, we love our cars.
Yep, exactly.
And I totally understand what you mean by learning a lot from it. So that's cool. Well, Brandon, this is really neat. I really love hearing about this car. I could see the passion that you've had in this car. Before we end the video, we've talked about the motor. We've talked about transmission drivetrains. But tell me real quickly, tell me about the wheel combination, because that's not normal. I mean, they're black, but that's not normal.
It's definitely not the normal look you'd see to a GTI, and I honestly think it's overkill a little bit. I could have went with a smaller tire, and it usually was an autocross car is what I was going for, but then I wanted to drag it, so I got this set up, and this is my second set of tires. It's hard to go back because it does not spin with these, so it's a very safe ride, you know. There's no scares to it, and it gets traction. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you have the stock wheels in the back.
Stock wheels on the back. Yep. I just
they're just there for the ride. Just
put them on. They're just rolling. Yeah.
They're just trying to hold on.
Right.
That's awesome. So I didn't ask, what kind of exhaust do you have?
So the exhaust is a custom 304 stainless steel exhaust, turbo back with a Miltech muffler on the back.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, we gotta listen to it, so we will. So Brandon, thank you for giving us the opportunity to learn about your car, the awesome build history. It's been really cool, and I can't wait to hear what you do next, and it's really exciting. Well, thanks. Oh, elbows. Thank you guys for watching. We'll talk to you soon.